So for dinner tonight, we are making, I'm making a potato crusted filet mignon that's got some wilted spinach inside, green bean bundles, and carrot puree, and we'll make a few assumptions along the way. And the first one is wilted spinach. So I just wilted a little spinach in a saute pan with a little bit of butter, salt and pepper, and squeeze the juice out a little bit because that's going to go on top of the filet mignon. And then here, I blanched some green beans. And outside, in my, really wouldn't call it a garden, but I have a little planter out there, and I've got some onions growing. Big onions are about that big right now, so I'm going to pick them shortly. And I just picked off some of the leaves. So you could do this with a leek, you could do it with the green onions, you could do it with, leeks and green onions work great. In this case, they're regular onions because I got some and I can use them. So anyway, we just blanched the green beans, and now, might be a little bit short here. Come on. So we tie them in the little bundles. It's not really a big deal. It just makes for a nicer presentation. I always like to try to make plates look good. So it's kind of the way I roll. So when you take the green onion or the leek and you cut strips on it, and then you blanch it in some hot water, it makes it really flexible. So you couldn't do that if you don't blanch it, because it'll just break. So now I cut it off there. I try to make everything uniform anytime I do. So if I was doing 2, 4, 6, 8, they're all going to be the same. So we're going to do that. And then these little guys here, they're just, I just took a raw carrot, peeled it, and then took the peeler and just went right down the carrot to make a long slice. So that's just off of a potato peeler. And then to do those, I just roll them up or break it off. It's all good.
So they're still raw?
Oh no, these are cooked. I blanched them.
Oh, okay.
And for like this, it's a garnish. It's really no big deal. When I say blanched, you can put them in a plate like this, put a little bit of water, and put a wet paper towel on top of it, and throw it in the microwave for about 2 minutes maybe. And they get flexible so that you can roll them. And that'll just, I'm making the carrot puree, so that's gonna give it, obviously it's gonna make it look better, but also it'll give a little contrast and texture between the carrot and then the puree. Okay, so that's gonna be part of the vegetable tonight. So now I'm gonna make carrot puree. And just peeled and sliced some carrots, cooked them till they're tender. You want to go a little, normally I would cook carrots al dente, which is, still got a little bit of bite to them, but in this case, since I'm going to puree them and make them smooth, I want to cook them all the way. Add a little bit of liquid, because without the liquid, it's not going to be creamy. And then carefully measure out all the butter. And put that in there. And then this is aromat. I've been using it since I was a puppy, probably right out of the Army. I worked with a Swiss chef in Houston. It's called aromat. It was by North Swiss. Heiko Swiss makes one. The only place I can find it, well, there's 2 places. Online I can find it, and I also find it at World Market, World Bazaar, or whatever it's called. But anyway, it's an all-purpose seasoning. I really like it. It's kind of good and everything. So that's that. And I don't know if you can see that. It's a little loose, and that's because I had to add the liquid so that I could pure everything. And then years ago, Janice had her college friends from visiting us, and they were in our pantry in Fountain Hills, and I came down for breakfast to cook them breakfast, and one of them said, "Why do you have instant potatoes in your cupboard if you're a chef?" So I said, that's a very good question. But I used a little bit of instant potatoes as a binder for the carrot puree. Makes it light and fluffy. So anyway, so I showed you the vegetables. This is the carrot puree, the spinach. These are the fillets. They're probably, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 ounces fillets. And these are nice fillets, they're choice. And for me, there's not much difference between prime and choice. So what I look for when I buy a tenderloin, these are both, I know because I bought the whole tenderloin, I cut them. These are center cut tenderloins. So a whole filet mignon, the whole tenderloin is about that big. And on the end, it's got 2 big pieces. It comes down to a point down here. Up here is called the head. In the middle, I'm sure you've heard of Chateaubriand or whatever. That's the center cut, and then there's a tail. So when you go into a grocery store and you're looking for fillets, you want one that kind of looks like this, because if it's got a piece hanging on the side, that's the head. It doesn't look nice. I always try to pick out, Janice will tell you, she hates going to the store with me because I spend hours looking for everything be exactly the same. And the center part is better. They're all uniform, and because they're uniform, they're gonna cook uniformly. So, and then the other thing, people always ask me, well, Dean, how long do I cook the steak? You know, that's a good question, because I don't know how thick your steak is. I don't know how hot your grill is. In this case, I'm gonna sear it. These are small, they're thin. They're gonna cook pretty quickly because I'm gonna do a really hard sear on them. We're just gonna cook them, and they're gonna take maybe 8 minutes in the oven, not long. So, but we'll get to that later on when I do the rest of the video. And then the other part is with the sauce. I'm not gonna talk about how I made the sauce today, because you know it's a process, and I'll talk about that later. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything ready for the filet, and then we'll do that process, and then at the end I'll show you a picture of what the dinner looked like. See ya.